Hi, how are you? I'm Robin. Welcome back. Welcome back for some more autumn fragrances. I did an autumn fragrance video really recently and I spoke about 5 of my absolute favorites, and I thought, do you know what? This whole top 5 thing, best of, is so subjective. I'm just gonna keep on going with this and just pull some more of my absolute favorites because I know you're gonna love them. So I've got 5 more right here, and I actually have some 5 more that I could definitely do another one. So you don't have to have seen the first one, do not worry, but I will link it in the cards. These are all very much separate, so you're gonna get a real flavor, a scent of what is going on. Okay, so, I should say, subscribe if you're new here, if you like hair product reviews, grooming, skincare, fragrance, all that good stuff. Grab yourself a coffee, grab yourself a tea, grab yourself a red wine, or whatever works for you. That is great, very strong, just how I like it. Okay, let's start with something a little strong. Let's start with something a little boozy. In my last fragrance video, there was a lot of rum-based fragrances, and this is another one, but this is different. So this is Malin and Goetz, and it's dark rum. Now, I smelled this a couple of weeks ago. I'd smelled the candle, I thought it was incredible. I'd smelled, they've got a leather fragrance, which is incredible. They've got a strawberry one, they've got all these different fragrances. And I was in doing some work with Malin and Goetz on one of their cleansers. You may have seen that, that's an aside. And they gave me a goodie bag afterwards, and this was in it, and I have become so obsessed. So the key thing on this is dark rum. Now, if you know bay rum from barbershops and the smell of that, think that, and we're going down the right route. There's a plum note in this, which gives it a sweetness. There's also an anise, there is a leather, there's a woodiness to it. It's so great. It's light, it's bright, but it's got this boozy decadence, but there's a real playfulness to this. This makes me think kind of like holiday with one of those sort of rum cocktails, maybe just a squeeze of lime in there. And you just know you're gonna have a great night with this. Now, the reason why it's in autumn is I think the dark rum gives it this warmth, which I think is just really exactly what we want. You know, exactly what we want, exactly what we need. But it's still light. So I think this feels youthful, it feels energetic, it's got an effervescence to it, and it's just really, really good. So I am really intrigued by these Malin and Goetz fragrances. I'm going to link this all down below, but I'm going to do more of these. I think this is good. So if you've tried this, let me know in the comments. If not, then we're going to have some more. Okay, so that's Malin and Goetz. Next, let's go with, okay, one which I actually have done a review of. I've got it on manfromself.com. I've got loads of product reviews on there. You can filter by price, you can filter by brand, you can filter by types of fragrance. So do you want fresh, do you want floral, do you want ambery? It is all on there. I tried to make this as simple for you as possible. But this is the brand new one by Penhaligon's, Legacy of Petra, and I am obsessed. I'm obsessed because it's just incredible, and it's incredible for a couple of reasons, and those 2 reasons are myrrh and licorice. Now, licorice is so unusual in a fragrance. It's got a slight woodiness to it, it's got a slight sweetness to it, and then with the myrrh, which is, and I said in the review of this, the myrrh just makes me think of a really fantastic toffee, and if you did watch that video, you'll probably sing it back to me. You open that toffee, there's a slight sort of wrapper sound, get it into your mouth, you're chewing down, you're warming it up, and there's just this explosion of sweetness and movement within your mouth. And that's exactly what I think of this. It's really, really beautiful. Now, there's a citrus note in this at the top, there's also a green tea. I don't really get so much of that. For me, it's the myrrh, it's also the licorice, and it's incredible. It is so beautiful. And I think autumn was made for fragrances like this. This smells expensive, it smells decadent. Oh, fly, hello. It just is so beautiful. I actually have a Belstaff coat, a really long, beautiful cashmere blend coat, which was a huge purchase last year. And every time I think of this fragrance, I just can't wait until I'm wearing that coat, and I've just got the fragrance behind my ears, just onto my neck, and I just think it's going to be such a vibe. So incredible. Thank you very much. Another one which I actually picked up in Copenhagen. So I spent a month this year in Copenhagen, which was, so I'm leaving London. I may have already left by the time this goes up. I'm moving to Edinburgh. I've been in London for 13 years, and this year I was kind of like, where do I want to be? Where do I need to be? And I thought, I want to remove myself for a bit, have some new experiences and go somewhere completely different. So I spent a month in Copenhagen, and I love the department stores there. They're so incredible. There's one called Vilhelm, there's another one, Maison, and I think it was Maison I went in, and I went like wet and wild with Vilhelm Parfumerie. I know Basilico and Fellini, which I already had, which I always thought was such a beautiful fragrance. They've got these in Liberty, but I just really went on a deep dive of these, and I picked up two. Morning Chess, which is incredible, and this, Poets of Berlin. Now, why I particularly love this is because there's a blueberry note in this. There's a blueberry note, there's a slight citrus, but then it kind of gets slightly sweeter, slightly woodier, and slightly earthier. I think these Vilhelm Parfumerie fragrances are exquisite, and I think they seem to have the perfect balance of something which feels very delicate, a little bit whimsical, very fine, and then they have all this gravitas in the base, which gives them this sort of premium quality. I really love this. The blueberry note kind of gives me a little bit of like a fantastic muffin, a fantastic blueberry muffin that you've gone into a coffee shop to get your usual, your flat white, your chai, whatever it might be, and you just see this blueberry muffin across there. And you're thinking, do I want that? Should I have that? And when you get it, you just know it's the best muffin you've ever had. That is the blueberry in this. But you don't just hang around on the sweetness. There's also sandalwood and vetiver. So it gives it a slight, sandalwood is always a very warm wood. And then vetiver gives it a grassy sort of earthy quality. And I think it's incredible. The only thing I have with these Vilhelm Parfumerie is the performance isn't fantastic, but I do think the fragrances are so great. So if you can get yourself a sample, they have a 50ml size of these. I'm sure they've got a 30ml, and this is 100ml, and they're just, I mean, they look great, they smell great, fantastic. Okay, let's take you from, let's stick with this sort of sweet vibe. So we've gone from the coffee shop. Let's go down to Paris, and let's think of a Sunday morning. It's quite crisp, a crisp autumnal day. You're walking down some gorgeous sort of cobbled Parisian street, and you can smell a boulangerie bakery for you and me. That's got some fresh bread, pastries, coffee in the air. And it's this. You can see how much of this I have used. This is actually my second. Noir, Exquis by L'Artisan Parfumerie. I actually worked with these guys 3 years ago, I want to say. I said in the last video, the whole time concept at the moment, I don't know, because we were, we killed off 2 years. This is beautiful. Chestnuts, orange, coffee. It's really, really good. And it's all the right kinds of gourmand. Just the right side of sweetness, a slight bitter note from the coffee. If you saw the last video that I did, I included Acro Dark, which is like dark chocolate. This is like the coffee patisserie vibe of that. So good, so great. Candied sort of fruits, slight sweetness, slightly bitter from the coffee. Chestnuts, everything amazing. Love this, absolutely love this. I remember I was really quite surprised that I liked this when I first got this. These were one of the ones that I was sent by the brand, again, ages ago. And I remember thinking, oh, that's not normally what I'd go for, but it's just one that I feel so comfortable with. And when I just want a fantastic autumnal fragrance, I'll reach for this. Okay, so we've done 4. I'm gonna give you a bit of a wild card here. Now, full disclosure, I have kind of been toying with this fragrance. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Where's that lid from? Here. But I think it's interesting, and I think some of you will love this. Ambre, let's get this right. Ambre, like amber. Ambre Chromatique by Maison Crivelli. I love this brand. I think some of the things that they're doing is incredible. and the fragrances are like really quite punchy. They really do tell a story. Now this one, as you would guess, it has amber. There's also a sweetness in this. There's a sweetness of benzoin and vanilla. Sometimes I feel like it's a bit of a car crash of notes. Sometimes I think it sits perfectly. It very much depends on the mood I'm in, because there's also a real smokiness of incense. So you've kind of got that sort of church vibe, something a little bit spiritual. There's also a pink pepper, which is kind of has a rose like overtone, and then a slight sweetness. So like initially you get smoky, sweet, and then you kind of move down to these sort of like churchy vibes, and then there's sort of sweet base, and then with the amber, like a very much a golden facet. So if I'm feeling like quite energetic, I love this and I love wearing this. But if I need something a little bit more understated, then I have to avoid this, just because this has so much personality, which I think I would prefer that in a fragrance rather than a fragrance which just has nothing to say for itself. I always want something that has a point of view, and this very much has that. Inspired by, I want to say, Jungle Treks in the search for benzoin. Let's go with that. So it's got these sort of spicy, smoky, just a lot of movement to it. So some of you will absolutely love this, others maybe not so much, but that is the wonder of fragrance. And I know that these guys, as part of the company that they're part of, do loads of samples, loads of little sizes, so you can definitely give those a shot. But I mean, I'm in the mood today that I do like this, so that is good. So that is another 5. If you've not seen the video from before, I'm going to link it up there and down there. All of these will be linked on manfromstuff.com. Please do check it out. A lot of work is going to that site, and I absolutely love doing it. And I'm going to give you, I've got 5 more up here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8. I'm going to cut it down to 5, and I'm going to give you 1 more of these. So thank you very much for watching. I'm also doing like videos every so often on TikTok. I'm trying to try it. So come and join me there. Please do come and follow. But until my next new video, press subscribe, check out the links. Bye-bye.